Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Driven Garage. Today we are going to be working on a 2012 Lotus Evora. This is a non-S model, but it should be the same process for that as well. It should be the same thing from 2010 to 2014, 15, even Lotus Evora 400s. So we're going to go ahead and do a brake fluid flush / change. So if you do have a vehicle like that, it should be the same process. If you do have a Lotus Elise or Lotus Exige, even an S model, bleeding those brakes should be the same thing and process if you're doing a brake fluid flush / change on that. So we're going to go ahead and show you how to do that today. Alright guys, so here's pretty much what we're going to be using today. We have a turkey baster, or a siphon in a sense. We're just going to be using this to remove the old, or the majority of the old fluid in the reservoir before we pour the new fluid in. It's the only time you're really going to need it. Not that expensive, $1, $2, depending on where you get it. We do have 4 bottles, or 2 liters of brake fluid. This is .4 Motul RBF 600. I like using it, one, if you're going to be doing any track days, a lot higher wet. Dry boiling point, I think around 594, 584 degrees Fahrenheit. Definitely a lot better. You should be bleeding your brakes and putting fresh brake fluid in before any race event, and also after every race event, because you're going to have excess air in the line. So I recommend this fluid. If you're not going to be racing, you go ahead and probably do a .4 fluid, standard one, or a .5.1. You cannot use a .3 really, lower boiling point, in the Lotus Evora, or a .5, because it, I believe, is a silicone base, or maybe it's not a mineral based, but the RBF 600 is not, though, suitable for mineral based system. Also, we're going to be using a Mighty Vac automotive test / bleeder kit. They're not that expensive. You could get AutoZone, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Napa, WorldPack, Advanced Auto Parts, Amazon. You probably pick this up from Amazon from $20, $30, $40, $50. You can go ahead and spend couple $100 on a pneumatic brake bleeding kit. This one's fairly common. If you're not going to be using this, I am not going to be doing a 2-person bleeding step today. This is a 1-person bleed kit system. Maybe down the line I will do that, but today we'll just be doing this since it's fairly cheapest and suitable for most people doing it themselves. Also, if you do not have the hex, it's a 10-point hex removal tool for the lug studs on the Lotus Evora. Sometimes people forget about this. They try to take off the wheels. They do not have it. I suggest highly finding yours or ordering one, because you're going to have to remove the wheels to do this. So go ahead and get this. And that's it. Alright guys, so as you can see, I have the back of the vehicle on some ramps. I usually actually like to do the back first before I do the front. Back up the vehicle onto the ramps, and then I actually break loose the front a little bit. I get those up on ramps as well after I jack it up. And then I will actually break loose these lugs, take the wheels off after I've had the car all set up on jack stands, which I will show you. Alright guys, so I actually broke loose majority of all the lug studs a little bit, just to broke them loose. If you can see, because you're probably going to be wondering, where do you actually jack this up? There's a jack point right under there. On the back side, I usually just drive up the back onto a ramp to get that set. I will then go ahead and jack up the other side and get it on blocks and also jack stands. If you are wondering, where do you jack up the back side? If you could see, there's a jack point there as well, depending if you're using a lift, blocks, lets you know it's right there. Alright? So if you do look, I have removed 4 of the lug studs already from the vehicle. Just keep in mind these aren't like a normal vehicle, so if you've never worked on a car, you can't just take the lug stud out. You can use your 2 feet if you want to brace the tire. You can also even just use the 1-toe method. Take it off if you are doing this on the ground. If you're doing it on a lift or something, you have to pay more attention to actually carry it. Because when you do take that last lug stud out, the wheel, the tire is actually just going to come out. There's no studs to rest it out. Also, if you're taking the wheel off, I highly recommend looking and just taking a look at your wheel. Always like to roll the tires. Look for any nails, screws, imperfections, chunking, uneven wear in the tire. Also, don't forget to take the wheel off. Make sure you got wheel weights on there if your wheel has been balanced properly. Any damage, cracks in the barrel, the spokes, if you're tracking your vehicle, if you're driving in a highly, harsh environment, highly suggest just taking the wheel off and looking at it, because if you're just going to be doing the brakes, don't forget about inspecting your wheels and tires as well. Alright guys, so you're going to suck out some of that brake fluid before you do anything. Go ahead and take the canister filter, in a sense, take it out, go ahead and siphon out as much as you can of the brake fluid. I recommend having towels if you can, because this stuff is very damaging to paint. We're going to go ahead and just top off the brake fluid first now. You go ahead and fill it up as high as you can because you're going to be draining and refilling this as you do the flush. And the reservoir is full, as you can see. Alright, so we're going to be starting with the farthest brake nipple / valve from the master cylinder or brake fluid reservoir. Some people say it doesn't make a difference to start inside, outside. This is the passenger right rear, so the farthest one from it. Some people say you could just bleed the outside one only because it's still flushing that out. I like to do both, the outside and then the inside, because you still get some bubbles trapped on that. So with your kit, there are accessories, nozzles, grommets to attach it. Me personally, I like to just fit the hose actually over the nipple itself. Pressure it up right to 15 or a little bit between 20. Then take your 11mm wrench, nothing special. There are specialty tools to go ahead and open up the valve itself. And I've already bled this outside one, so as you can see, there's not going to be too much dirty fluid coming through. A lot of it's already clean, not really any bubbles because I've already bled the outside. I like to do it for maybe 30 seconds to a minute if it was the opening side. You will see when I do the inside one what it looks like. So I've done the outside one already. I will go ahead and actually close it. And then you can go ahead and just release the pressure and just take the hose off. That's pretty much it for the outside. Alright, so we do have the one on the inside now, pressured up to right around the same. We're going to go ahead and open that. And if you look, you're going to see a lot of the fluid coming out. It's still going to actually be pretty much clean. There's a lot of small air bubbles in the line. We'll go ahead and let this probably do 30 seconds to a minute minimum. As you can see, there's a lot of small air coming through. Fluid is necessarily pretty clean because I've already bled the outside. That's why some people tend to say you don't have to do the inside, but personally, I like to just do both. All right, so we are going to be doing the driver's side or left rear now. The outside, this is going to be the first time doing this side now. So we'll see what dirty fluid looks like. Going to pressure it up right above 15. Right at 17 now. And if you look, when I open it, as you can see, there's a lot of coagulated brake fluid in there. It's very dirty. Not too many air bubbles, but a lot of coagulated older brake fluid. Probably has a lot of moisture, water in it. So we're going to go and do the inside now. We probably will have a little bit more dirtier fluid on the inside, as this hasn't bled before. It's not too bad. It's a little bit coagulated compared to that first time I did the outside. And after this side is done, we are going to work our way to the passenger side. Alright guys, and don't forget to keep adding brake fluid, because as you siphon it out / take it out and flush it out through the brake fluid lines and the nozzle / nipple, you're going to have to keep filling it up. So this is actually the second bottle I'm pouring in. I'm going to make sure to top it off again as high as you can. Alright guys, so we are on the driver's side, the left front now. I'm going to show you what the left one is looking like for me. I'm going to go ahead and open it up. I have it pressured up as well. You can see air bubbles are not that bad. There's a lot of the older coagulated fluid in there. I'm going to go ahead and let those drain and then follow up with the inside as well. Overall, guys, it should take 20 to 30 minutes. I did have to bleed the passenger side a little bit longer and then work my way, and I did it all around again twice just to make sure it was flushed fully. I have already used 2.5 bottles. I'm going to probably end up using the third here, having a little bit left over up on the fourth one. Alright guys, so I've totally gone ahead and bled all the brakes, flush the system out. Don't forget to go ahead and make sure to top it off and make sure it is capped off when you are done before you do anything else. And then everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. You're going to go ahead and reassemble the wheels, torque down the wheels. I will leave as much torque specs and torquing specs of everything in the description below. If you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Go ahead and try to reply it to it as best and as fast as I can. Also, if you do have the wheels off, I always recommend, since I'm running Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, go ahead, rotate the wheels, flip-flop into each side. You have the wheels off. Also, I recommend going ahead and cleaning down your calipers, expecting the as much thickness on your pad as you can. You also go ahead and measure out the caliper thickness with the caliper. Gauge them out, make sure they're within spec. Also, I like to clean the hub itself, make sure to remove as much rust as I can. Also on the wheel, because if you take a look, you're going to get corrosion on the inside of the wheel. Other than that, hope the video was informative as much as possible. Other than that, thanks guys.